Hey, what's up? This is Hunter with Tortoise and Hare, and today we're going to be talking about building out the educate section of a Presto landing page. We've already covered the pain section and the resonate section, and this will be the third in a third video in this series, and we'll talk about kind of the meat and potatoes of building a landing page, and is really what a lot of people think about when they think about building a landing page, and that's the educating the prospect on what it is that you actually do. So let's hop right into the video. All right, so the educate section is really, you want the prospect to walk away knowing what it is that you do and how it can help them. So let's first start off with kind of what not to do in an education section. One, talk about how amazing you are. It's incredible how many MSPs and other companies I see put together, tons of website content and just go super hard, and all they're really doing is talking about how amazing they are and just being very self-centered on their pages, and then the prospect has no idea what the hell that you even do. They just know you're amazing at it, so don't do that. Don't kind of talk in insider language. Another kind of common mistake I see people do is just put together these landing pages that is just nothing but basically selling to another MSP or another person within their industry. You don't have to convince your peers to, the value of your work. They already know the value of your work. You need to convince people who have no idea what the hell you're doing the value of your work. So don't talk in insider language. You got to talk in the prospect's language. Also, don't talk in unclear language. Don't put together these vague promises. Give them some plain English, descriptions of what it is that you do. And then kind of another big mistake that I see a lot of, companies do is their landing pages become a long and winding road. They really lose focus in the middle of the page and wind up talking about everything they do all on one landing pages. Then their landing pages rank really poorly, they convert really poorly, and there's just you've gone over the river and through the woods, in the context of a landing page that should be focused very narrowly on computer support or server support or firewall support. People really care about their problems, so you need to stay focused on their problems. And then the other kind of big thing is just that they put massive walls of text and don't break things up into small digestible chunks that are easy to consume. So those are some of the most common things that I see when I open up a landing page and I'm like, this isn't going to work for this reason. A lot of times it's one of these things. So what to do is, tell them what you do. Tell them how you do it. Answer questions they might have and handle objections on the landing page. Some basic question types: who, what, when, where, why, how. These are how pretty much all the questions are. And then you could also even maybe put down best, because a lot of times people are having some variant of who is the best or what is the best. So best is often an abbreviated version of some of these things. So you can think of who is this a fit for? Who is this service a fit for? What is, that's a common kind of question type. When can I expect my problem to be solved? Good thing to answer on a landing page. Where do I go to learn more? This one's frequently going to be answered by the offer that you present later. So the where questions are typically not answered on education sections. Why should I choose X brand or move forward with this? And then, how much? And there's also all sorts of how questions. You can research some potential questions people may have in a tool like SEMrush by using I've just done an example here of a broad match search on who cloud computing, which will return phrases that have 3 words in them: who, cloud, and computing, and a bunch of variants. So you can see things who are the big players in cloud computing. So, you might want to mention AWS, GCP, Microsoft Azure, IBM, or something like that on your landing page. Just an example, who offers the most, advanced cloud computing. You can kind of look through and discover like potential like questions that your prospects may have. So that's like a who question. What is a cloud computing platform? That might be something that, again, like that's something like, of course we know what a cloud computing platform is as MSPs or IT people, but your prospects may not really know that. So we can see that we've got 260 people a month asking that question. What is a cloud computing platform? So that might be something you could include on your landing pages. It's just an example. When to avoid cloud computing, when not to use cloud computing, when is cloud computing used. So people, really clearly don't understand when and when not to use cloud just based on looking on these questions. So that might be something you would work into a cloud computing type landing page. Some where questions. Where does cloud computing store data? Where to start learning cloud computing? Where is cloud computing data stored? So you can use like a tool like SEMrush to find some where questions, and I'm just kind of showing you some examples. Why is it called cloud computing? Why is virtualization important in cloud computing? Some potential why questions there. You can always do some research like this to determine like what people are asking before you build your landing page. How to migrate to cloud computing, how secure is cloud computing. Obviously some people have some concerns about security. How to back up computer to cloud, so people want to know more about cloud backups. Those are super popular topic, things like that. So kind of, again, you can use like the who, what, when, where, why, how, and then whatever the topic of your page is to do research on some potential questions to include in your education section and proactively address them. So here's just an example, sort of like educate section. Again, we've already gone through our pain and resonate section, and then now we're down and kind of to the, education section for a network support landing page here. So we're saying why reliable network support matters, giving them a small digestible chunk of content to consume there. What our network support can do for you. We can help you prevent network downtime. It's an important consideration. We can help you boost your network performance, get rid of slow networks. We can help you enhance network security. Talk about cyber attacks on the rise. We can help you simplify your network management, make things easy, just outsource your network management to us. Scale with confidence. A lot of companies are opening new locations, new branches, things like that. So, helping them scale up. Networks services offered. So we do network setup and installs, network connectivity optimizations, network security solutions, cloud integration and support. Even just criticizing this my own landing page here, this is probably something that's a little off topic, so this could probably go. Remote access configuration, super common point of interest for people looking at network support stuff, is they want to know how to get network access. VoIP networks, integrations, network monitoring, network maintenance, and upgrades. Types of network devices supported. We work with routers, switches, firewalls, access points, NASs, VoIP phones, modems, printers, scanners, IoT devices, and computing devices. Then we've got kind of an FAQ section. And a few FAQs here. So just like worst case, when somebody has consumed the content of this page, like they know what we do for them and they know some of the services we offer. We've kind of, have not really talked about like, the company like that much. We're really focusing on answering their questions and being educational in this portion of the page. Some common ways to like communicate that information, paragraphs, isolated paragraphs. I call these left, right, lefts, where you have like small paragraph, picture on the right. So it's like content on the left, content on the right, content on the left, content on the right. I call them left, right, lefts. These are really great to take like, AI generated content where you might have like 5 little chunks of paragraphs you're like, oh, how do we present this? Like, well, one of those options is like a left, right, left. Another option is card blocks, as I call them, icon card blocks. Super common kind of web development technique here. So you can do like the icon card blocks in like, 2x2s or 3x3s with these icons. Some of these these are like a card lists. These are just like icon and like more or less extended bullet points. So like, those are some kind of things. And then one key element I'm including in all the education sections of my Presto landing pages is the final element of a educate section on a Presto landing page is the FAQ section. These are great for SEO, and they're also a good chance to handle objections and just ask or like answer questions that might not like really fit well into a flow of like an education section of a page. So again, here kind of looking at a computer support page, we help speed up slow computers, perform RAM storage upgrades, hardware repairs, replace aging computers, software glitches, remove viruses and malware. And just notice that, we're not talking about us here. We're talking about potential problems that a prospect who's having computer support issues might have. And we're, going directly to address those. And then we've got, again, FAQs is the last element of the page. So just again, stay focused on them, answer their questions, handle objections, make sure they know what it is that you do, how you can help them in this education section. And then again, you can use techniques like these, bulleted lists, left, right, lefts, card blocks, or kind of like what I would call enhanced bulleted lists, which is really what these are. And then you always want to kind of like sign off your education section with a frequently asked questions area. Alright guys, hope you liked the video. Thank you for watching. If you did like the video, please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Again, we cover the educate section of a page when building a Presto landing page. And this is kind of the meat and potatoes and the primary thing that people think about when they're building a landing page. So it is important, but just remember, stay focused on your prospect. Let them know what it is that you do, how you do it, answer their questions, handle their objections, and you'll put together a good education section of your page. Once again, I'm Hunter Nelson, and thanks for watching.